Peace, peace, what's good? I'm gonna trust that my volume, the voice, my mic, I don't have a mic on, that my voice is heard good on this. It's my first time recording on my action cam for like an actual video. So let's see how it goes. So I have been feeling really nudged a lot about this poem that I opened up my poetry book to. Probably about a week ago to 2 weeks ago, and it's still really lingering because I wrote it a few years ago and I hadn't read it since around the time that I wrote it. And I really find it so interesting how I haven't opened my poetry book, because I always open the poetry book with an intention for it to just give me whatever message I need to receive at that moment, reminder, whatever it is. I have others do the same thing, and it's just always so beautiful, 1, 2, 3, how it always aligns. The messages are always aligning. The poetry is always aligning to give messages that we ourselves need in that moment. So it's super interesting how I hadn't read that poem for years. I don't know how long it's been, maybe just a couple years. And I read it around this time right now in my life again. And it just hits so differently. It hits so differently because I can see where I have improved to... I'm gonna have to read the poem actually, and then maybe I'll share whatever I feel from it. And then obviously there's a reason why I'm sharing this, so you can share with yourself or comment whatever it is that you might, if you feel guided to share about the poem and what that could mean for you in your life right now too. Because we're constantly receiving. If we allow ourselves to receive, we're constantly being given so many messages throughout our lives, and it's up to us to choose to receive them in a way that's going to actually be beneficial in a good way for us. Because we can take messages all kinds of ways. There can be a message right in front of our face that's telling us something amazing is gonna happen, and we take it away. That's just like, oh, well, it's just a message, like it's just a coincidence or something, you know? So it's up to us to receive the messages, and it's up to us to decide how we're going to receive the messages. So allow me to read this poem. I'm gonna sit in this little egg chair. I'm gonna sit in this little egg chair. I knew I should have changed this tripod that I have on this camera so that I can stand it, because it doesn't clip onto this big tripod. I guess I'm just gonna hold it. So I introduce you to my poetry book. That's kind of like oracle. I usually just hold on to it, set some intentions, and just open it wherever I open it. I don't know if I should I see what it's the healing process, disconnecting to connect. That's funny, I opened this not so long ago when I was out in the jungle, and when I wrote this, it's on my you'll find it. It's on my story, one of my videos. I wrote it while I was camping out in the forest, and I opened it up. I hadn't read it in a long time, and I opened it up when I was glamping in the jungle. Even that alignment was like, wow. Okay. So I do want to add and say that, what happened? Okay, screen went off. That this poem was basically just meant for me to express myself and to say whatever, I don't know, I was just writing to my own self. And I'm sharing it because it's something that I chose that I don't want to continue doing, because I know I'm the one that brought that upon my own life. I'm the one that was creating those situations, that was creating all of this that I wrote into the poem. And I needed to, for one, be more open. I needed to be more vulnerable. I needed to be more trusting in a wise way. Because I've trusted many things and many people that I overly trusted. So trusting wisely. And I say trusting in the sense to trust, to be able to trust in being vulnerable, be able to trust that someone does care about you, to listen to you and listen to your feelings and listen to whatever it is that you have to say, that cares about what you have to express and what's going on within this human body. So when I say trust, that's what I mean. Trust in yourself, that you can feel, to trust in myself, to trust in yourself, that you can feel when the moment's right to share your vulnerable self, to share the hidden layers you have deep within yourself. I love this because I'm just looking out speaking and I'm just looking at the jungle. Oh, looks beautiful. I'm just looking out. Let's see if I see some monkeys. I've seen 4 monkeys here in just a matter of days. So, okay. It's funny. I just opened it up to another personal one. I don't know. That one's a different one. I haven't read that one. That's not the one I'm trying to, that's not the one that I'm having in mind right now that I opened it up to. In just a quick second, I should be able to find it. I don't know where it's at. But it's, okay. All right, I found it. I actually don't even remember in detail what's in here, so this is a big move for me. This is a big step for me in being vulnerable and allowing myself to be seen. This is like super seen. Super seen. All right, okay. It's okay. I am reminding myself constantly that I'm safe. That I'm safe to be heard, that I am safe to be vulnerable, that I am safe to be open, that I am safe to be myself, that I am safe to receive love, that I am safe to give love, that I am safe in my whole being, no matter what's happening, no matter where I am, no matter who I'm with, no matter who I'm not with, no matter anything. And I say that too because that's also the title of this poem. It's called Safe. And I'm actually probably going to split this into a part 2 for TikTok. So this is my very personal, very personal. Oh my gosh, that's funny. I saw 0922 and I just looked over at the date and this was 3192022 922. Some significance in 922. Okay. Safe. Nobody truly knows me is something that's very safe to say. every time I want to open up and lift my skin, although it may be unintentional, I still get pushed and turned away. I always have time for everyone's heart to open, and I feel time doesn't exist for me. It's never the right moment, and I have to just let it be. It's extremely hard for me to even want to or be able to express. But 99% of the time, even then, I have to lay that all to rest. Then I realize, well, this is why I just enjoy to write and be to myself. Because time and time again, that's the only way I feel received to share how I've felt. I don't know if anyone will ever truly get to know the deep parts to me and what's made me Cyndiii. Or maybe once I am dead, a piece will come out through this lead. By then, I will be on to my next cycle of life, flying around somewhere like I am a kite. So who even really cares the depths of me? No one ever knows. God does, down to every shrivel in my toes. So as always, I just accept and move on and say, it's okay. Continue to write and talk to myself and my angels who are available to listen to me, no matter the time or day. Only they will truly know me as something very safe to say. With love, Cyndiii Deusa. Wow. 1, 2, 2, 2. 1, 2, 2, 3. And I ended this poem at 11. Oh, I thought it was 11:33. I'm just noticing it was 11:53. At some point, I did write the numbers 11:44. Three years ago, a little over 3 years ago, when we're talking about time. And you know what? I find it so beautiful that 3 years later, I read that poem and I see how much growth I have actually allowed myself to, I don't want to say achieve. I don't want to say achieve. But all of this growth that I have really chosen to do the work in. And you know, at this moment, actually, I'm wanting to remember more closer to when I had written that poem. Maybe a few months later, I read it again. And it made me so sad that that's how I had been feeling for all my life, pretty much. And I'm kind of tapping into the energy when I was writing that poem. And it's like those are the things that I don't want anyone to ever feel. 1432. And I really feel that that's a really big part of what makes me me. Who I am within this human body. Who I am is someone that doesn't want anyone to ever feel unseen, or like if their voice doesn't matter, or feel bad about expressing how they truly, deeply feel and expressing something that's so exciting for them. To feel excitement coming from others too for that person. It's like when I reflect on all the things that I have experienced, even things that I reflect on that I have emotions and feelings that I've brought upon others based on things that I chose to do that were not nice and that weren't very kind. When I reflect on that now, being who I am now, those are things that I would never want anyone to experience. The things that I have chosen to be unkind with others with is something that I would stand up to this day. Even if I was two beings and I saw, if this one being of me saw this other being of me being unkind or being whatever it is that I had, however it is that I've been with others, this being of me would love to go and stand up against this other being of me and say, no, that's not right. That's not right. You don't make people feel that way. You don't treat somebody in that way. You don't talk to people that way. You don't make someone feel alone that way. You don't laugh at someone in that way. You don't, all these things that just don't feel good. Things that I know that I've experienced on the other end of someone maybe possibly doing onto me, and it did not feel good at all. It didn't feel good at all. And I feel like that's also why I'm so big on always wanting to make sure that everybody's included, wanting to make sure that everybody feels like you are seen, like I see you, I value you, I cherish what you have to say, I cherish your energy, I cherish being around you, I cherish your thought process, I cherish your feelings and your emotions, I cherish what you get excited about and what makes you feel alive. I value and I cherish your likes and what you're passionate about. Doesn't mean they have to be mine, but just because they're not mine doesn't mean that I can't show some just appreciation for someone else appreciating something that they enjoy and that they like. And so, you know what, I'm also remembering right now, going back to the energy of when I was writing this poem. And I remember I was writing it down because I also wanted to get it out of me. I really wanted to get it out of me. I wanted to get out how I was feeling for all these years. I wanted to say what I was really feeling. I wanted to put it out in paper, to get it out from here and get it out from here and get it out from anywhere else it was trapped inside my body energetically, and put it on this paper so that it's out. And it's now in physical matter where all these feelings aren't trapped up inside of me anymore. All these emotions, all these words, all these things that I was keeping vacuum sealed within me, to now have them out and be seen, be heard, even though I didn't expect to be reading it right now. But that's okay, because you know what? I'm not that person anymore. I don't feel that way anymore. And because you know what? A really big part of that poem and what I'm talking about and how I was feeling is also a big part of me closing myself off, me taking traumas and keeping those traumas so tight. As bad as they made of her, I kept them so tight in here that these traumas were what I was walking around, and some experience happened or something, and I it's like, metaphorically, it's like asking your traumas, oh, should I do that? Oh yeah, I remember when that happened. No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. Or, you know, like, we carry these traumas with us throughout our entire life, and we let those traumas navigate and control and guide us in this world. Just because some people were not the kindest to me, I decided to just think that I can't be myself because someone's gonna be unkind with me for whatever X reason. Or just because a group of individuals did X, now that means that I'm never gonna, to never trust any person now because of these X individuals that did this X thing. It's like, why get stuck on the same chapter? Get stuck writing and reading the same chapters with different characters. Different characters, different mixed up situations, but still like the same situations. Just different setting, different time period, different characters. Living this life on repeat because we choose not to let go of things. From choosing not to heal things, choosing not to realize that everything happens for us for a reason, and it only happened because there's something great for us there to either heal, to renew, to be able to grow from, to be able to receive something from it. Because at the same time too, I also believe that there's different things that we're experiencing in this life and in this world that isn't necessarily because let's say like someone who's always kind, and yet they experience something that's not the greatest thing to experience, and you'd be like, well, why? This is the greatest person that I've ever met. Why would this happen to this person? Well, a lot of times we don't know because there's this thing called Akashic Records, and we don't know what it is that they're now, this karmic debt, which, I mean, I don't even really think that we get this debt, but the way it works is just, whatever you're planting, you're gonna get that seed to sprout. That seed is gonna sprout. Even if it takes a few lifetimes, even if it takes the next lifetime, it might happen within the same one. 2323. But there's things that happen for us in this lifetime. That way we can, it's like letting the rain come and wash away something that we've done in the past that wasn't so kind. 2, 3, 4, 5. I know that there's things that I may have done in my past lives that I am not happy with, that I couldn't have been happy with when I'm coming from a place of love. And those are some reason why in this lifetime I've paid some of that debt. I was able to heal that cycle because now I was on the other side of that. That's what's crazy. It's like when we are doing something, you better think twice, 3 times, 17 times. Not really, but just be very mindful of what it is that you're doing, because whatever it is that we are doing, we're planting those seeds. And if you're doing something, let's say to somebody else, and it's not kind, before you know it, in this lifetime or the next, we're going to be on the opposite side and be that individual or that whatever it is that we weren't being very kind to. Now we're going to be that in a different scale, in a different way. But now we're going to feel what they felt in a different way where a lot of times it could be harsher. But that all depends on our choices. Everything. I don't know. Okay. I'm going to stop on that topic. Because it all goes around in a really big circle. It goes around in a really big circle. And it's so complex. It's so complex that there's just like no way of ever explaining. Because everybody's life is different. Everybody's choices are different. Like I've been for, I guess, all my life, sort of, I've always been thinking of all the possibilities. How many different possibilities are opening up depending on the most tiniest things ever? So just earlier I was thinking of it. Let me think the situation. Okay, so I was on my way back here and I had stopped to get some groceries. And then I remembered as I was passing this other place where I also go and get a few things. I have different places I like to get different things at. As soon as I was passing it, I remembered, I need to check to see, I like possibly stop at that little fruteria to see if they have arugula there, because I didn't find it at the other one. And I remembered this just as I passed by, and so really quickly I'm ready getting further and further, right? So really quickly I try to like just make a decision. Should I turn around? Should I stop to check? They might not even have it because I already checked there at that same place like 2 days ago. I'm just thinking this really fast in my mind, right? This is all happening super quick. And something just tells me I'm here right now. If they have it, I would want to have it. If they don't have it, then at least I know that they don't have it, and because I checked. Instead of the wondering and getting back here and then later wanting like, I want something with arugula. Anyway, so I just decided, okay, let me stop, turn around. I turned around. And I was thinking in that moment when I got back on my scooter to come over here, because I didn't have it. So it was just super quick, in and out, max 2 minutes. What was the reason? There could have been different things that could happen. I was thinking of like this other parallel universe. The one that decided, the Cyndiii of me that decided not to stop and check to see if there was arugula. Where would I be already? Would I have been at the light? Would I have already been here? Would I have already walked in? What would be different from those few minutes of me not having stopped? How different would that have played out in the rest of my day? 2, the contrast of that, of me having made that decision, that choice to stop and turn around, take those 2 or 3 minutes and get back on my route. You never know if there could have been a car that pulled in. That's like worst case. These are things that we just don't know where our choices could take us. And why it's so important to be guided through our intuition. Be guided through our intuition. I don't know if it was my intuition that just told me to turn around. Just turn around and just check. Just turn around. Take this 1, 2 minutes, 3 minutes and turn around and check. I don't know if it was intuition. And we don't know when that one choice could have saved my life. It could have helped me be there to save another life or another little critter. There's been so many little critters that I've been able to like help, which has been beautiful. It's like If even like, let's say a beetle, if I hadn't been there in that moment, drove up in that moment, and saw that the beetle was trying to flip itself over, it would have just died upside down. But because I was able to flip it over, it was able to continue its life. Choices, also the choices to be an act of service to things outside of us for nothing in return, other than the most beautiful return of satisfaction of doing something out of love. That's like the most beautiful, that's the satisfaction that I could feed off of that satisfaction for the rest of my life, which is what I want. I want to be fed with that satisfaction of doing acts of love just because it feeds you that much more love in return. Those choices. And so going back to this poem, I made a choice after I wrote this poem. I made a conscious choice to stop being that way, to stop being closed off, 3131, to stop being this closed book that never shares, that never talks, that never speaks about what's going on in here, about what I'm thinking, to share my point of views, to share my perspectives, to share my thought process, to share this voice of love that comes through me when I'm tapped in here. And when I'm allowing myself to be in unison with things outside of me, because I chose to come to this human experience. 3210, so it's meant for me to be in unison with things outside of me, to talk because I have a mouth, to share what I can, the perspective that I see, to not just listen, to mostly listen. That's something that I'm going to keep with me. I am an observer. I don't have to say a word. I don't have to say nothing. I could just listen and listen and listen, and I'm cool. I'm cool with just listening. Because listening was pretty much all I did all my life. Until I decided I didn't come here to just listen. I came here to be a voice. I came here to share my voice. I came here to share what I have to say when I have to say it, and not hold myself back like I used to for everything. I am not that poem. And I am not going to allow myself to not be seen and not be heard, and for myself to only be seen and only be heard until I'm no longer here anymore. I don't want that. And I decided I didn't want that. And that's why I've been able to allow others to experience me. Allow myself to experience others within this new version of me that does talk, that does share, that does express, that does feel at deeper levels, because I've filtered through all the feelings of the sadness, all the feelings of feeling like I'm not taking up the space I deserve to take up in this world, just as we all do. 3421. Knowing that I deserve to have some space in this world, because there's space for all of us, and there's still space for so much more. And because I'm not meant to shrivel myself into this tiny little thing that doesn't get seen and gets pushed around or gets shoved in the dirt or any of that. And the most beautiful thing about that realization is it all started with me first. started with me valuing my voice when I heard it, valuing my feelings when I felt them, valuing who I am when I looked into that mirror, valuing who I am when I go and I'm out in the world, and the way that I choose to speak to others with softness and gentleness and love and kindness and appreciation. That's why I know I deserve to be seen. That's why I know that I deserve to be heard. That's why I know that I deserve to take up space in this world, because the space that I have to take up is that of just love. So I am not that poem. And no one should feel the way that that poem expresses. And if you do, it's a matter of being an alchemist and alchemizing that energy to now be there for every single individual who feels that way. To be that person that you need at that time of whatever present energy you're in with that poem. The present energy that's felt, that could be felt from that poem. That's the way we heal. That's the way we transmute energy. By taking everything and making it better. By taking everything and knowing it's better. By taking everything and knowing it's as best as it could be, and it's as best as it needs to be. Being at peace with that. That's alchemy. And that's the message. My little one's gotta go outside, I believe. You gotta go outside, girl? You wanna go outside? All right, let's take you outside. Let's go see if we see some monkeys. Let's go take the bananas and go see if we see the monkeys, girl. Till next time. We're out. Peace.